Hello viewers, my name is Andre Pranata Pranagin, and today I want to present metallurgy, especially chapter 15 about coping with corrosion. This is the book that I use for present today, Metallurgy for the Non-Metallurgist, second edition, edited by Arthur C. Dardon. Introduction. Corrosion, as a natural and persistent process, also involve unintended deterioration of metals, sometimes with disastrous outcomes. How big is the corrosion problem? Based on analysis of gross world output in 2004, the direct and indirect costs of corrosion are estimated to be at $990 billion and $940 billion US dollar. Respectively, the total of these estimates for direct and indirect costs of corrosion represent a significant 3.8% of gross world product. Indeed, corrosion is a big problem in many types of systems. 15.1 The mechanism of corrosion. Metal corrosion involves a branch of chemistry called electrochemistry, which is a study of two basic types of reaction: chemical change that produce electricity or current flow, and conversely of electric currents that cause chemical change. Electrochemical reactions basically involve the transfer of electrons by two types of partial reaction referred to as oxidation and reduction. Corrosion cells and batteries. Both oxidation and reduction reaction must take place for corrosion to occur. During metal corrosion, the areas over which the anodic and cathodic reaction occur may both vary greatly, from areas a few atoms apart to areas extending to hundreds of square meters. Many small corrosion cells can form over the surface of one material. Galvanic series. The previous example illustrates the basic electrochemical reaction in the corrosion of two metals. It also introduced the concept of the oxidation power or potential of different metals. The oxidizing power of a metal is its ability to build up a voltage. Or electromotive force, EMF, from removal or addition of electrons by the electrochemical process of oxidation or reduction. The relative difference in the oxidizing or corrosion potential of metals are determined by measuring the electromotive force of various materials relative to a reference electrode in a given electrolyte. 15.2 Forms of corrosion. During metal corrosions, the areas over which the anodic and cathodic reactions occur can vary greatly. This results in various forms of corrosion such as uniform attack, pitting, and crevice corrosion. When the anode-cathode sites are so close together that they cannot be distinguished, and when the sites undergo change and reversals with time, uniform corrosion is said to occur. Uniform corrosion. Uniform corrosion or general corrosion is a corrosion process exhibiting uniform thinning that proceeds without appreciable localized attack. It is the most common form of corrosion and may appear initially as a single penetration, but with true examination of the cross-section, it becomes apparent that the base material has uniformly thin, intergranular or IG corrosion. Intergranular corrosion is the preferential dissolutions of the anodic component, the grain boundary phase, or the zones immediately adjacent to them, usually with slight or negligible attack at the main body of the grains. The galvanic potential of the grain boundary areas of an alloy is anodic to that of the grain's interiors due to differences of compositions or structure. This difference may be due to the environmental interactions or metallurgical change in the grain boundary regions during manufacturing or surface exposure. Pitting corrosion. Pitting characterized by sharply defined holes is one of the most insidious forms of corrosion. It can cause failure by perforation while production only a small weight loss on the metal. These perforations can be difficult to detect and its growth rapid, leading to unexpected loss of function the components. Surface corrosions. Surface corrosions is the pitting that occurs in slots and in gaps at metal to metal and metal to non-metal interface. The mechanism is the development of the concentrate corrosion cell. Corrosion is usually initiated because the oxygen concentration within the crevice is lower than that of the surrounding area. Surface corrosion can occur at a joint between any two surfaces, intentionally joined, or perhaps beneath a solid particle on a metallic surface. Surface corrosions can progress very rapidly, tens to hundreds of times faster than the normal rate of general corrosion in the same given solution. Corrosion fatigue. Corrosion fatigue is caused by repeat or fluctuation stress in a corrosive environment. Fatigue life is shorter than would be expected if the sole cause was either repeat or fluctuating fatigue or a corrosive environment. The environment is the key factor in this type of corrosion. Selective leaching. In selective leaching, an element is removed from an alloy through corrosion. The most common example is dezincification or the removal of zinc from brass. However, many alloys are subject to selective leaching under certain conditions. Stray current corrosion. As an electrochemical process, corrosion can be influenced by electric potential. Stray current corrosion or stray current electrolysis is different from natural corrosion because it is caused by an externally induced electrical current and is basically independent of factors such as oxygen concentration and pH. 15.3 Corrosion prevention or mitigation. Although corrosion is a seemingly pernicious process, it can be disrupted by breaking the oxidation reduction loop of an electrochemical cell. The difficulty is its complexity. For example, evaluating the corrosion exposure conditions for metallic piping networks requires an understanding of various field conditions such as soil type, soil pH, stray current effects, and electrical continuity. Corrosion inhibitor. A corrosion inhibitor is a substance that, when added in a small amounts to a corrosive medium, reduces its corrosivity in a closed system. Chemical treatment or inhibitor can be used for corrosion control in aqueous environments. Inhibitors are defined as a chemical substance or combinations of substances that, when present in the environment, prevent or reduce corrosion without significant reaction with the components of the environment. An example of this principle is the use of antifreeze in cars. Cooling systems contain dissimilar metals such as gray cast iron, aluminum, copper, brass, tin lead solder, and steel. Cathodic protection. The two types of cathodic protections are sacrificial anode protection and impressed current protection. The prior example of zinc and iron in an acid is an example of cathodic protection with a sacrificial anode. Sacrificial anode protection is the simplest method. A material that is more anodic than the metal to be protected becomes sacrificial. Anodic protection is based on the phenomenon of passivity. A limited number of metals such as stainless steel can achieve passivity. Anodic protections require that the potential of the metal can be controlled. Shifting the potential of the metal to the passive range can reduce the corrosion rate of an active passive metal. The anodic polarizations of the metal result from the formation of the passive layer, which is relatively insoluble in the chemical environment. Control of pH and corrosion. With poor Biggs diagrams, controlling pH is another way of lowering corrosion rates and is a common practice in some applications, such as municipal and industrial water supplies. Metal can occupy various chemical states depending mainly on the pH of the environment and their electrochemical potential. That's all from me to present about metallurgy, especially chapter 15, coping with corrosion. Thank you very much.